Hi there, welcome back to My Views and News. Thanks for watching. Two news stories for you. First one is from Ethiopia. Both are from Ethiopia. Firstly, dozens of people have been killed by Ethiopian security forces in the Amhara region. It is being reported by an international news outlet. A journalist, Tigrayan, who was forced into exile more than a year ago, did this news story. Who is she? What is she reporting? From where were these? From where these dozens of civilians or Fano fighters were killed? Details for this video. Secondly, viewers, is the tension between Ethiopian PM Abiy and Kenyan President William Ruto? Because on two occasions in the last 1 week, PM Abiy was found missing. He should have been there to attend these two top level meetings in Nairobi, Kenya, but he did not attend the meetings. So what is happening? We have details for you. Firstly, viewers, viewers say, Sajid, you are supporting the federal government military by undermining the casualties of civilians at the hands of security forces. People are being massacred by Ethiopian military in Amhara, but you're saying Fano fighters are being killed. Well, I am not going to hide anything from you. I don't want to spin on developments. If people are being killed, whether Fano fighters or civilians, I am reporting. Only investigation can determine the status of those who have been killed. Now, an international news outlet published a report a few hours ago about large-scale civilian casualties in a town in the Amhara region. This is the claim of this news outlet that civilians have been killed. The Guardian is the name of this news outlet. Lucy Kasa has written a piece for The Guardian. Lucy Kasa is an Ethiopian journalist, a Tigrayan. In the 2-year-long war in Tigray, she did several stories about sexual violence, etc. Then her flat in Addis Ababa was raided by security forces. She was forced into exile. And most of her reporting has been about the atrocities committed against Tigrayans. Though she did just 1 or 2 pieces about the atrocities committed by Tigray fighters in Amhara. This time she is reporting about the conflict in the Amhara region between military and Fano fighters. She is not in Ethiopia, she is abroad, so obviously she interviewed people from abroad. She contacted people. That is how she's been working since her departure from Ethiopia, relying on remote interviews, telephonic conversations. Lucy Kasa claims that more than 70 people have been massacred, shot dead, mostly in public by Ethiopian military in North Shore zone of the Amhara region. It happened in Majete town. I reported about Majete, if you remember. I said around 15, 20 had been killed. If you remember, 3 to 4, I did a video on that. Lucy claims that 70 were killed in Majete. Majete has been a stronghold of Fano fighters, by the way. Majete and its surroundings. Majete, Rasa are 2 strongholds of Fano fighters, and military was trying to seize Majete. There was fighting for several days for the control of Majete. At last, military entered Majete. Military entered Majete on the 3rd of September, according to Lucy Kasa of The Guardian. And after that, military started house-to-house searches. Youths were arrested, elderly were arrested. They were accused of supporting, harboring Fano fighters. They were shot dead. Lucy is not saying that Fano fighters have been killed. She is claiming that the killed people are civilians. The military was trying to trace Fano fighters. A military accused these residents of Majete that they were supporting Fano fighters. That is why military indiscriminately killed people in Majete town, 70 killed. What is the mode of investigation adopted by Lucy? Remote interviews. Living abroad, she interviewed people. How did she manage to reach people? Because there is internet suspension, mobile network suspension in Amhara. Somehow she managed to get in touch with people there. Only she can explain how she interviewed people. But her report is relying on remote interviews. I don't know what the number, because the number I came to know of was around 20. Can we say that all the people killed in Majete were civilians, not Fano fighters? Well, I won't say anything. It's up to the authorities, investigators to decide. Investigation should be conducted, but again I would say it's difficult to distinguish between Fano fighters and civilians. When Fano fighters achieve their targets, they say that everyone is Fano in Amhara. We are Fano. Everyone says. People upload videos saying we are Fano. But when people die, then they become civilians. So it happens. It has happened in Tigray too, by the way. That whenever Tigray fighters were killed, Tigray People Liberation Front, Tigray leaders would portray them as civilians. It happens in Oromia too. So only solution is that investigation should be conducted. Who will conduct the investigation? Government. And government will never acknowledge the civilian deaths in the Amhara region. But people say, Sajid, nothing is happening in Amhara. You just exaggerate things. You see that Lucy says 70 killed. I reported about 20 casualties. So how many casualties would be enough for people to believe that there is an active conflict still ongoing in the Amhara region? Secondly, viewers, it seems that Abiy and Ruto are not on good terms these days. Tensions between them very visible. When William Ruto was elected as Kenyan president, we saw that PM Abiy warmly welcomed him. He visited Ethiopia. PM Abiy visited Kenya too, I think. And the two were seen on really good terms. I think things changed after that. Ruto invited Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, visited Kenya. Then Ruto reciprocated. He visited Asmara. And 2 days ago, Ruto was heard praising Isaias Afwerki when Isaias Afwerki attended Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi, Kenya. Ruto introduced Isaias Afwerki as a great revolutionary, a great leader. Maybe that is why PM Abiy is at a distance from Ruto. He has been missing from 2 occasions, 2 meetings in Nairobi. First occasion was Africa Climate Summit organized by Kenya and African Union. Several African leaders were there, including Isaias Afwerki. Abiy was not there. Then after that, IGAD held a meeting on Sudan in Nairobi, Kenya. If you remember, a few weeks ago, IGAD formed a 4-member committee to mediate between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military. The committee had 4 members: PM Abiy from Ethiopia, Ruto from Kenya, Ismail Omar, president from Djibouti, and Salva Kiir from South Sudan. This 4-member committee was tasked with talking to RSF and Sudanese military to find a solution to the conflict in Sudan. If you remember, Sudan rejected that committee. So Sudan demanded that the committee should be led by Salva Kiir, not by Ruto. Back then, Sudanese Foreign Ministry accused Kenyan government of having links with rapid support forces. Another meeting of this four-member committee was held in Nairobi, Kenya, around 48 hours ago. Again, PM Abiy was missing. PM Abiy did not attend this meeting. Rather, he sent Abraham Bale to represent him. Defense Minister of Ethiopia represented PM Abiy. Other three leaders were there. Salva Kiir from South Sudan, from Djibouti, Ismail Omar, Ruto from Kenya. They were there in Nairobi, Kenya. But from Ethiopia, it was Abraham Bale who attended this meeting. So very visible signs of some tension between Ethiopia and Kenya, or you can say personal level tension between PM Abiy and Ruto. Why? It maybe it's because Ruto is getting closer to Isaias Afwerki. He was all praise for Isaias Afwerki when Isaias Afwerki attended Africa Climate Summit, and Isaias Afwerki maybe is being seen as a bigger player than PM Abiy by Ruto. That is why Abiy is not comfortable. And secondly, I think Kenya has gained from the conflict in Ethiopia. Ethiopia was one of the key countries in this region before Tigray conflict, but Ethiopia gradually lost its stature in this region. Kenya filled the gap. Africa Climate Summit was organized by Kenya. So Kenya stole the show, you can say. Maybe that is why, two reasons, that Kenya replacing Ethiopia on regional level, and PM Abiy not comfortable with growing closeness between Isaias Afwerki and William Ruto. Meanwhile, Sudan has threatened to boycott IGAD. It has threatened to withdraw from IGAD. It is demanding that four-member committee formed to resolve the conflict in Sudan by IGAD should be led by South Sudan's Salva Kiir, not by the Kenyan president. And yesterday, Sudan issued a statement. Sudan might withdraw from IGAD. IGAD is largely dysfunctional, by the way. IGAD mediated in Ethiopia too, but mainly US was mediating there. IGAD, African Union were just faces. Real player was the US. In Sudan too, IGAD has almost no role to play. It is trying to be relevant, but so far this relevance is missing. Thanks for watching.